Hi, everybody. My name is Sarah Bush, and this is Julie Marshall. We are here today to share with you our transformational health stories and what putting powdered plant produce into our bodies has done for both ourselves and our families. So I'll start, and then Julie will share with you. So my family that I see today is very different from the family we were about 2.5 years ago. We were the family that was constantly sick. I remember there were days that no one in my family was eating any fresh fruits or vegetables, and I had a lot of mom guilt. The tipping point for me was when I looked at my kitchen counter one day and there were 4 different antibiotic bottles for the 4 people that were in my family, because we each had something different that was wrong with us. My daughter had already missed 10 days of kindergarten from being sick, and I just knew we had to change. So we started flooding our bodies with powdered plant produce. Within a week, I noticed that one of my children who suffered from some very painful constipation, that went away. To not see her struggle and be in pain was just life-changing for us. And I knew we would never stop doing what we were doing. I also realized that I was changing the food I was buying at the grocery store and the food I was putting in front of my family. And my little children, because they were being flooded with all of this produce every single day, they were more willing to eat the nutritious food that I was putting in front of them. About 6 months after we started, I noticed that the 2 of them were actually fighting over the last strawberry. And these were 2 kids who wouldn't even touch a strawberry 6 months before that. We got over being sick, and we became the family that was healthy all the time. Our pediatrician actually commented and said, "I never see you guys anymore except for your well visits." And I said, "Yeah, isn't that amazing?" So I just knew that we would just continue to do this for the rest of our lives. Another thing that became really important to me was the mission side of this. And I realized that as my family was getting better, people were asking me and saying, "Hey, what are you doing? How are your kids eating those kale chips that you're making them?" And they seemed to enjoy it. And I just started sharing with them what we were doing and how simple and easy and convenient it was. And it took away all of my mommy guilt. And then as I was sharing this with people, I realized that a little part of me that had gone into hibernation was coming back alive. After I had my second son, Evan, I stayed home. And when you're at home and you're a mommy, nobody's really, you don't get awards for making dinner. Nobody recognizes you for doing the laundry every single day. And I really missed that part of myself. And so once I started and I joined this mission, it was nice to be able to be recognized for what I was doing, both for my customers who were telling me how much better they felt, their children weren't on medication, they weren't sick all the time, and then also just to see a paycheck coming back in. There's 2 stories, short stories I'll tell you. The first one is about my son, Evan. He was 3.5. He said maybe 20 words max, and a 3.5-year-old should really be having full-on conversations with people. And my husband and I realized it was time that we had to help him out. So we put him into an intensive speech therapy program. It cost us about $500 to $600 a month to do this. A few months in, I said to him one day, as I said many, many days, was, "I love you, buddy." And he said back to me, "I love you, Mama." And I just got tears in my eyes. I got goosebumps. And I just said, "I love you too. I'm so, so proud of you." And his whole little face just erupted into a smile. And I realized in the next second too, that my business and the mission that I'm on paid for him to be able to do that. The second thing that happened was probably about a month or 2 after that. Is I was sitting in the chair. It was a normal Friday morning. And my husband walked in and said, "I've been let go from my job." And it was just that fear and that, just your heart sinking into you and that physical reaction of, "Oh my God, what are we going to do?" It was our health insurance. It was our only huge source of income. And then I realized, what? My paycheck's coming in about a week. And no, it was not as much as he was making, but it would cover our groceries. It would cover the boys' school. It would cover our car payment. And I was able to relax a little bit. So it's just been a huge, huge blessing in our lives, both from our health and both from the way that I have been able to help those that I love in this world. And I continue to be able to help them and just to partner with people who want to change both their health and the lives of others. All right, thanks. I'll pass it over to Julie now.
Awesome. I can never hear your story enough, Sarah. I love it. So about 5 years ago, I was a stressed out corporate employee. I was working 60 hours a week. I was working out 6 days a week to train out, to burn off the crazy, and also training for a half marathon. And at the time, I thought my family was pretty healthy, but we had some minor ailments. I mean, I had dealt with irregularity my whole entire life, and I was exhausted. At 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I wanted to crawl under my desk and take a nap, but instead I was going for a sugary snack or caffeine to get me through the rest of the day. And on the days I did my long training runs, I was taking naps because I just couldn't make it through the day without that. My son had suffered multiple concussions from playing ice hockey, and as a result had residual headaches. He woke up with one every day that the doctor said he may have to live with. And my husband was on 2 different types of asthma medicines and an acid reflux medicine. But again, we were healthy. We didn't get sick frequently, and we just thought these were minor things that we would have to deal with for our lives. And someone introduced me to a convenient way to get more concentrated plant powders into our diets, and it immediately made sense to me because it was food. And if my husband and I ate it, my children could get it for free. And it had science behind it. So there was research that said that it did good things from prestigious universities. And so it was a no-brainer for us. We started immediately take on a program, and without expectation, really, I was just hoping we get more nutrients in our diet. And I was pleasantly surprised within about 4 weeks, my digestive system was working better. I wasn't having the sleepy spells in the afternoon. I was recovering faster from my training runs. And ultimately, I ended up being able to train for and run the Boston Marathon, which I don't feel like I would have ever been able to do had I not been so nutritionally fueled. The bigger blessings for my family, though, are that my son is headache-free and my husband is off of all of his medicines. So this is not anything that's magic. There's no magic wand here, but we are just flooding our bodies with a variety of whole foods, and our bodies react well to it. So it gets rid of our inflammation and just really helps us feel better. So I never wanted to be a salesperson. I was not, I was in sales operations and I didn't want anything to do with it. But what I found was that I was sharing it with people. It had blessed my family, and I wish someone had shared it with me, 25 years ago when it was around from the beginning. And I found that there was a real need in the community. So then it became more of an obligation for me, a moral obligation for parents to be able to know about it. And as we continued to go on through our process of it, we just saw more and more benefits, and I wanted to share that with others. And so now I get the opportunity to share it with people who, don't have a second income. Maybe they need a backup plan, or they don't get paid when they don't work. They might be a massage therapist or an acupuncturist or a chiropractor, and so they only get paid when they see patients. And sometimes things happen and you can't see patients. So we are in an environment where we get residual income, and that's another beautiful thing. I love that our company has been around for 50 years, and that we just get to help people be healthier and wealthier if that's what they choose. And so I'm really grateful that you are taking this opportunity to learn more, and I'm going to turn it back over to Sarah.
Great. Thanks, Julie. I love your story too. So we just want to thank you guys for taking the time and watching and listening to our stories today. It just warms our heart to be able to share with you. And I would just ask if anything that you heard today from either Julie or myself really resonated with you, or maybe you know someone that this information might be important to, that you just reach out to the person that shared this video with you and just let them know that, you need to let somebody know about this. So we thank you. Hope you have a very healthy, blessed day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.